We all depend on modern medicine. But have you ever stopped to think about what's really behind that pill in your cabinet? It's a story of jaw-dropping costs, incredible risks, and logistics on a global scale. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at the real business of breakthroughs.
So really, how does it happen? It's not just some eureka moment in a lab that suddenly appears on a shelf. Oh no, it is a multi-billion-dollar journey that is managed with, military-grade precision. Let's break that down.
And when I say multi-billion, I am not exaggerating. Check this out. According to a 2024 analysis from Deloitte, that massive number is the average cost to bring just one single new drug to market. Now, with that much money on the line, you better believe that every single step of this process is measured and managed down to the last decimal point.
Which brings us right to our first stage, the high-stakes world of research and development. Seriously, think about it like placing a $2 billion bet. You're going to want a way to track your odds, right? So how in the world do you manage a bet that big? Well, you don't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. Companies use this really strict playbook of metrics called Key Performance Indicators, or KPIs. Just think of these as the vital signs of a drug's potential for success. So what even is a KPI? It's really simple. It's just a number you can track that shows how well a company is hitting its goals. In drug development, it's basically the report card that tells the executives, hey, is this project on track? Or maybe more importantly, is it time to cut our losses and walk away? And here's where it gets really interesting. It's what they're measuring. These KPIs are all about answering the tough questions like, what percentage of our drugs actually survive clinical trials? How fast can we physically get this into the hands of patients? How much are we spending for every win? And how many potential drugs are we losing along the way? The answers to these questions drive every single go or no-go decision for every medicine you can think of. Okay, so let's say a drug candidate has actually survived that grueling R&D scorecard. It's looking really promising. Now it's time to take it from being a hot new rookie to becoming a global superstar. And for that, you need a big league contract.
This is exactly where the world of pharmaceutical licensing comes into play. See, a lot of the time, it's a smaller biotech company, or maybe a university, that discovers a new compound. But they just don't have the cash or the infrastructure for massive global trials and distribution. So what do? They partner up with a major pharma company in a deal that can be worth, well, billions. And the scale of this market it's just hard to wrap your head around. In 2025 alone, the total value of these licensing deals is projected to top $250 billion. That is a massive amount of capital just fueling this entire innovation ecosystem.
But here's the crucial part. It's all about how these deals are structured to share the risk. It's not just one giant check. First, there's an upfront payment, some cash to get things rolling. Then you have milestone payments. So as the drug successfully hits key goals, like, say, starting a new trial phase or getting regulatory approval, more payments get unlocked. And finally, if the drug actually makes it all the way to market, the original inventor gets a cut of every single sale through royalties.
And just look at some of these recent deals to see the kind of money we're talking about. A $22 billion partnership for cancer drugs, a $12.5 billion deal for a COPD treatment. What's also really fascinating here is the global nature of this. There's a huge rise in innovation coming from licensors based in China, like Henry Pharma, getting licensed by Western giants like GSK. It's a truly global game.
So the deal is signed, the money is flowing. Awesome. But now comes what might be an even bigger challenge: actually producing and distributing this medicine perfectly, consistently, and all over the world.
Right at this stage, the scorecard completely changes. The KPIs aren't about discovery risk anymore. Now they are all about operational excellence. The new questions are, can we make this drug flawlessly, millions of times over? And can we do it efficiently, without any bottlenecks gumming up the works?
So a super critical metric here is something called overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE. This is really the gold standard for measuring how productive your manufacturing is. It breaks down into 3 key parts. You've got availability, which basically asks, is our equipment actually running when it's supposed to be? Then there's performance, asking, is it running as fast as it possibly can? And finally, quality, which asks, are the things we're making defect-free? It's all about making sure your factory is running like a perfectly tuned race car, fast, reliable, and absolutely no mistakes.
But hey, manufacturing isn't just about the machines. It's also about speed and safety. This timeline shows another key metric, the batch release cycle time. This measures the entire journey from the second a batch of medicine is finished to the moment it's officially released. Every single step is timed, creating this constant balancing act between getting medicine to patients as fast as possible while never, ever, ever compromising on quality.
Okay, so you've got scorecards for R&D, you've got massive contracts for partnerships, and you've got efficiency metrics for manufacturing. How do you possibly keep track of all this complexity in real time? I can tell you one thing, you're not doing it with spreadsheets. This is where a specialized digital nervous system comes in.
So first up, you have tools built specifically for this industry, like a pharma-centric customer relationship management system, or a CRM. This is not your average sales software. It's designed to manage the super-regulated relationships between pharma reps and doctors and hospitals, tracking every interaction to make sure it's all in strict compliance with industry rules.
Next, just try to imagine the literal mountains of paperwork. I'm talking about clinical trial reports, dense scientific papers, regulatory updates. It's endless. This is where AI-powered summarizers are becoming absolutely essential. They can instantly boil down thousands of pages to the key findings, which helps research teams make faster, better informed decisions. It's a game changer.
Then you've got process mapping tools. These are used to create these incredibly detailed visual flowcharts for every single standard operating procedure, an SOP. Now, this isn't just about being efficient. It's a critical tool for audits. It gives regulators concrete proof that every single step of the process meets those strict, predetermined quality standards. And finally, you have project and compliance tracking software. Think of this as the ultimate safety net. In an industry with thousands of critical deadlines, these tools automate reminders for regulatory submissions and track all the compliance tasks. Missing just one deadline can cost a company millions in fines and delay a drug's launch by months. So this kind of automation is absolutely vital. Phew, okay. After that whirlwind tour through the business of medicine, what are the most important things to walk away with? Let's boil it all down.
There are really three pillars holding this entire thing up. First, measurement, using those rigorous KPIs to manage the incredible risk and cost of R&D. Second is partnership. Those massive licensing deals are the engine that gives a promising discovery the fuel it needs to go global. And third, efficiency. You need a sophisticated system of manufacturing metrics and digital tools to run the incredibly complex global machine of production and distribution.
And all of this leaves us with one final thought. We've seen the playbook, right? The metrics, the deals, the tools. As AI and other technologies make this playbook even more powerful and data-driven, will it fundamentally speed up our search for cures? Or will it just add new layers of complexity to an already high-stakes business? Well, that is the billion-dollar question for the future of medicine.